Welcome back, demigods, monsters, and gods alike, to the Olympus Report. Demigods, we're getting closer and closer to Percy Jackson on Disney+, and with each new day brings more information. Disney has just released the episode titles for Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief on Disney+, and it seems they're taking them right from the Lightning Thief. This is a brilliant idea for many reasons. For one, it connects the books to the TV show, and it shows just how seriously they're taking this adaptation. They really want to reinforce that the books are the source material and they're sticking to it. Now, obviously, they can't use all the chapter titles as there's only 8 episodes, but let's go through one by one and I'll talk about what I think each episode is going to cover. Episode 1. I accidentally vaporized my pre-algebra teacher. How could you not pick the iconic first chapter for the first episode of the TV show? I think it's safe to say this is probably one of the most recognized and well-known chapter titles, so I really love that they put it for the first episode of the show. Alright, what do I think is going to happen in episode 1? I think obviously it's going to take us from the start of the show all the way through Percy ending up at Camp Half-Blood. I think the episode is going to end right after he beats the Minotaur. Episode 2, I become Supreme Lord of the Bathroom. Another iconic chapter title, and one that is talked about so much within the Riordanverse. I think episode 2 is going to cover everything at Camp Half-Blood, from when Percy wakes up to when he receives the quest. So that would include capture the flag, all the training, meeting Clarice, Percy getting his head shoved in the toilet, introduction to Luke, Annabeth, and everyone at camp, and history of failure. Episode 3, we visit the Garden Gnome Emporium. Not as iconic as the past two and not as funny, but I still think a good chapter title to pick. I think episode 3 is going to take us from the start of the quest all the way until the end of Medusa. So this would include the bus attack by the Furies, finding the pink poodle, and then of course visiting the Gnome Emporium. Episode 4, I plunge to my death. I've always loved this chapter title because it really showcases Percy's sarcasm. I mean, most of them do, but I kind of like the more subtle ones, like this one. I think episode 4 is going to take us from the train ride west all the way until Percy meets the Nereid, which would of course cover the Archway. Episode 5, a god buys us a cheeseburger. I think episode 5 is going to take us from our 3 heroes arriving in Denver, all the way through retrieving Ares' shield from Waterworld. So of course this would cover the diner, the Iris message with Luke, and of course the Tunnel of Love. Episode 6, we take a zebra to Vegas. I think episode 6 is pretty clear. I'm pretty sure it's going to cover the truck ride to Vegas, which would include the chat with Percy and Annabeth where they start to become friends, and then of course the Lotus Hotel and Casino. I think in episode 6 we'll also get them ending up in LA. And then debatable whether this will be in the 6th episode or the 7th episode, but they may even end up at Krusty's waterbed shop. Episode 7, we find out the truth. Sort of. This one's beginning and ending isn't quite as clear, but obviously it's going to cover everything that happens in the underworld. I think the episode may end right before Percy and Ares start to fight. Episode 8, the prophecy comes true. I think the final episode will cover the fight with Ares, as this is the climax to the book and will be the climax to the TV show. And then obviously it has to take us through the end of the book, so we'll end with Luke's betrayal and running away. I absolutely love the titles that they picked. I think they picked the best ones to represent the show. What do you think about the titles, and do you like the fact that they're being based off the chapter titles? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. But for right now, that's all I have for you, Half-Blood, so I'll be signing off. And please, always remember to stay safe.